that game. Double high screen, Bonner coming down, dumping it off to Aaliyah, dumping it to Lexi in the corner, 3-point, bang.
Cunningham off a double screen. Back for Bonner. Bonner gets inside. Boston, extra pass, corner three. It's all!
A packed arena, the air thick with anticipation, and the Indiana Fever facing off against the Washington Mystics in their first preseason game of the season. The stakes were high, not because it was a playoff matchup, but because it was a chance for the Fever to prove they could hold their own without their superstar point guard, Caitlyn Clark. The Mystics, sensing an opportunity, came out swinging, but they didn't anticipate the force of nature that is Sophie Cunningham. In a game that turned into a battle of wills, Cunningham didn't just shine. She set the court ablaze, delivering a performance that will be talked about for years to come. The game, a backyard brawl in basketball form. The game tipped off with a flurry of action, the kind of high-energy basketball that makes you forget it's only the preseason. The Fever, missing their star player, leaned on their depth and chemistry to keep pace with a Mystics team that seemed determined to make a statement.
Team's playing basketball on offense. Holy. But still my beating heart. Great to be here with you guys today. No Caitlyn Clark. No problem. Well.
Early on, the Fever ran a crisp offensive set. A double high screen opened up the floor, allowing Bonner to slice down the lane. She dumped the ball off to Aaliyah, who quickly found Lexi in the corner. Switch. A three-pointer splashed through the net and the crowd erupted. Moments later, Cunningham, coming off a double screen, found Bonner again, who drove inside before kicking it out to Boston for an extra pass. Another corner three. Bang. The Fever were playing team basketball at its finest, moving the ball with precision and purpose. But this wasn't just about pretty plays. The Mystics came with an edge, targeting the Fever with physicality that bordered on dirty. They seemed to think that without Caitlyn Clark, the Fever would crumble under pressure. Oh, how wrong they were. Down by as many as 15 points in the first half, the Fever clawed their way back.
15-point deficit, coming back, clawing back, fighting back, pushing it into overtime, and at the end of the day, Indiana Fever fans go
fighting through adversity with a grit that defined their new identity. By the time the fourth quarter rolled around, the game was a dogfight, with both teams trading blows like heavyweight boxers. The Fever pushed the game into overtime, and when the final buzzer sounded, they emerged victorious, 79-74. The Mystics, bruised and bewildered, headed to the locker room, while Fever fans went home buzzing with pride. This wasn't just a win, it was a statement. The Fever proved they could overcome a significant deficit, adapt on the fly, and outlast a team that tried to bully them into submission. And at the center of it all was Sophie Cunningham, the fiery guard who turned the game into her personal stage. Sophie Cunningham, the heart and soul of the Fever. If you've been following women's basketball, you know Sophie Cunningham is no stranger to the spotlight. She's a player who thrives on intensity, a competitor who wears her heart on her sleeve and her sass on her smirk. But in this game, she elevated her game to a whole new level, becoming the fearless protector of her team and the unrelenting force that the Mystics couldn't handle. Cunningham's stat line was impressive: double-digit points, timely rebounds, and tenacious defense. But the numbers only tell part of the story. What truly set her apart was her attitude.
Go home satisfied, go home happy. 79-74, Washington Mystics come, and the Washington Mystics go. The Washington Mystics like this last year.
When the Mystics decided to play dirty, targeting Cunningham with cheap shots and verbal jabs, she didn't flinch. Instead, she leaned into the chaos, turning every shove and every taunt into fuel for her fire. "I just outwork people," Cunningham said in a post-game interview, her voice dripping with confidence. "I'm a fierce competitor, and yeah, I can be a little sassy sometimes. People don't always like that, but I love my teammates, and I'm here to spread the floor, shoot the ball, and let our playmakers do their thing." Her performance was a masterclass in resilience. Early in the game, she took a hard shove from a Mystics player. Let's call her Player X, because she doesn't deserve the extra attention, who seemed intent on rattling her.
Yeah, Sophie Cunningham ruffled quite a lot of feathers with the anti-Clarks. And again,
The referee called a flagrant foul, and Cunningham, unfazed, stepped to the free throw line and drained both shots. Later, another Mystics player tried to get under her skin with a technical-worthy elbow. Again, Cunningham responded with poise, hitting a clutch three-pointer on the next possession. "You don't do that," she was caught saying on the court, her words sharp and pointed. "Not on my watch." The Mystics' tactics were clear. They wanted to turn the game into a street fight, hoping to intimidate a Fever team missing its biggest star. But they underestimated Cunningham's resolve. She wasn't just playing for herself. She was playing for her teammates, for the fans, and for Caitlyn Clark, who was watching from the bench. Every time the Mystics tried to bully her, Cunningham hit back harder, whether it was with a dagger three, a hustle play for a loose ball, or a verbal jab that left her opponents speechless. The Caitlyn Clark factor, a star on the sidelines. Let's talk about Caitlyn Clark for a moment. The rookie phenom has taken the WNBA by storm with her jaw draw.
And we always say this, it is absolutely nothing but, like, it's nothing about basketball, it's nothing about anything.
Cunningham, in particular, stepped into the void left by Clark with a performance that was equal parts skill and swagger. She wasn't just filling in, she was redefining what it means to be a leader. "When Caitlyn's on the bench, I've got her back," Cunningham said after the game, a glint in her eye. "Nobody's going to mess with her or this team while I'm out there." It was a bold statement, but one she backed up with every play. Clark, watching from the sidelines, must have been grinning ear to ear. Having a teammate like Cunningham in her corner means she can focus on her game without worrying about cheap shots or trash talk. It's the kind of dynamic that makes a team dangerous, not just because of their talent, but because of their unity. The Mystics' miscalculation, picking a fight with the wrong player. The Washington Mystics came into this game with a chip on their shoulder. Last season, they had their struggles against the Fever, and they seemed determined to set the tone early in the preseason. But their approach, relying on physicality and borderline dirty play, backfired spectacularly.
Because this sums it all up, and I'm not going to be showing any of the tweets, but like, it's kind of a scary thing.
They thought they could intimidate a young Fever team, but they didn't account for Sophie Cunningham's unrelenting spirit. From the opening tip, the Mystics targeted Cunningham, perhaps sensing that her fiery personality made her a prime candidate to lose her cool. They pushed her, elbowed her, and tried to bait her into retaliatory fouls. But Cunningham is no ordinary player. She's a veteran who's seen it all, a competitor who thrives in the face of adversity. Every time the Mystics tried to rattle her, she responded with a play that swung the momentum back to the Fever. Take, for example, a moment in the third quarter. After a particularly aggressive shove from player X, Cunningham hit the deck hard. The crowd held its breath, expecting her to lose her composure. Instead, she popped up, dusted herself off, and on the next possession, drained a deep three-pointer while staring down her opponent. The arena exploded, and the Mystics bench visibly deflated. It was the kind of moment that defines a player's legacy, not just making the shot, but making it when it matters most. The Mystics' strategy wasn't just ineffective, it was a disaster. By targeting Cunningham, they woke a sleeping giant. She didn't just play better, she played smarter, using their aggression against them. She drew fouls, got to the free throw line, and made the Mystics pay for every cheap shot. By the end of the game, the Mystics looked like a team that had run out of ideas, while Cunningham was still out there, hustling for rebounds and diving for loose balls.
Just outwork people. I'm the ultimate competitor. I'm a fierce competitor. I'm a little bit sassy sometimes, which people don't like, but I love. My teammates always love. And to be honest, I spread the court. Like I can shoot the ball.
The Fever's new identity, toughness and togetherness. This game was about more than just one player's heroics. It was a glimpse into the Indiana Fever's new identity, a team that's tough, resilient, and unafraid to stand up for each other. For years, the Fever have been a franchise with potential, but they've often lacked the edge needed to compete with the WNBA's elite. This preseason win, led by Cunningham's fearless performance, suggests that those days are over. The Fever's roster is loaded with talent, from veterans like Bonner and Howard to young stars like Clark and Aaliyah. But what sets this team apart is their chemistry. Without Clark on the floor, players like Lexi and Boston stepped up, hitting big shots and making hustle plays. Bonner's leadership in the paint was crucial, while Howard's defensive presence anchored the team. And then there was Cunningham, the spark plug who ignited the entire squad. "We're still figuring each other out," Cunningham admitted after the game. "This was the first time we've all played together as a group.
draws in and you're just ready to shoot. And so, I think that I'll bring a lot to this team. But at the end of the day, I want to be a good leader.
All right, so Sophie Cunningham really shined with Caitlyn Clark out, and she is going to be an absolute steal.
But I'm proud of how we fought. We've got to clean up some things defensively, especially rebounding. But the chemistry is coming. We're going to be a problem for a lot of teams. That's the kind of confidence that can carry a team far. The Fever aren't just relying on Clark's brilliance anymore. They're building a culture of toughness and togetherness. Cunningham's performance was a rallying cry, a reminder that this team isn't going to back down from anyone. The internet goes wild. Sophie Cunningham's viral moment. If you thought the drama ended when the final buzzer sounded, think again. Sophie Cunningham's performance didn't just win the game, it set the internet on fire. Social media platforms lit up with clips of her clutch shots, fiery exchanges, and relentless hustle. Fans and analysts alike couldn't stop talking about the way she stood up to the Mystics' bullying tactics. One particular moment went viral. After a flagrant foul from player X, Cunningham was caught on camera telling her opponent, "You don't do that, not here." The clip spread like wildfire, with fans praising her for protecting her team and refusing to let the Mystics' antics slide. "Sophie Cunningham is a dog," one fan tweeted, echoing the sentiment of thousands. "She's out here playing like she's..."
A level of toughness and tenacity that the team needed. And of course, they brought other players in who bring a little bit of that as well, the vets in Bonner and Howard. But there's a certain